Hello, and welcome to the Zillion Opal podcast, where we discuss big ideas for our small town. I'm your host, Wayne, and I'm here to discuss about a housing development going in over by Timberbrook. A lot of people are against this housing development, but I'm kind of for it. Now, hear me out. I got a few ideas, and I'm definitely going to tell you why. This housing development is going in on private property. The private property which these people are allowed to build. They are allowed to build houses, residential houses, on this private property and then sell off the houses as housing developments in the area do. The thing about these neighborhoods is that they should be connected to the town as much as we possibly can. Now, mainly, this relates to traffic. So everybody is worried about traffic and how it's going to increase in Zillionople and if this housing development goes in. Well, no, duh. Of course it's going to increase. Why? Because it's the only option that people have to get to downtown. So if you look at Cranberry, the disease of Cranberry, Cranberry is a nice place, but the disease that Cranberry suffers the most from is sidewalks that end. There are no sidewalks going to Walmart, going to public lands. There are sidewalks in the neighborhoods. They're all through the neighborhoods. Cul-de-sacs, they're everywhere. However, once they get to the main road, outside of the development, there's no sidewalks, which gives the residents one option to get to town. And that option, of course, is the car. The American car. The big SUVs. To mitigate this traffic as much as we can, we have to give other options. What are the other options? Well, as most people in Zillionople know, I love bicycles. I'm thinking that there should be a bicycle highway going clear around Zillionople, connecting to a cycle highway that goes around Harmony. And then somehow get those cycle highways to go clear down to Pittsburgh and clear up to Erie. But that's not going to happen. Not anytime soon. It'll probably be another 50 years before that happens. But for starters, in Zillionople, we have the opportunity to make the new developments in a much smarter way. Smarter than Cranberry, smarter than the recent ones being developed in Jackson Township. How do we do this? Sidewalks to begin with. And also grid formation. So, like most of the neighborhoods that have been popping up have all been cul-de-sacs. Why? Let's make this new neighborhood in a smarter way. Grid patterns have worked for all the major cities. I know we're not a major city. Don't want to be a major city. But the thing about these grid patterned neighborhoods in these cities is the community. Higher density and grid patterns in these cities have created communities, strong communities. We can do the same thing with this neighborhood. We can make it look like downtown Zillionople. Heck, I think we should. Call it a super neighborhood, if you will. Have its own shops, have its own breweries. Although I think Zillianople's due for a winery. We got enough breweries. Let's have a winery. Have their own winery. Have their own restaurants. Now, do they need a lot of them? No. Only a couple will do. Have a small main street that is completely pedestrian. No cars. And then whenever people want to get to their houses, they can drive their cars to their house. Have big front porches. Actually have front porches, since a lot of the neighborhoods these days don't even have front porches. Front porches have been linked to lower crime. but it has not been it has never been linked as the reason for lower crime. Neighborhood watches. You're sitting on your front porch, drinking something. People are walking back and forth. You're watching them walk back and forth. It's an old school neighborhood watch, which will help keep the crime down, which was another issue that was addressed during the last borough meeting. And actually, after looking through the questions from the last borough meeting, that seemed to be the biggest issue that people had: traffic and crime. How do you reduce these two? Basically, you just gotta give more than one way for them to get downtown. Give them less of a reason to go downtown, these new people who will be moving into these neighborhoods. And then large front porches. So people actually have an opportunity to talk to each other. You want the small town feel. We can build the small town feel. Is it difficult? These days, yes. Because the zoning laws are just the way they are. A lot of people, they just want one zone in their neighborhood, one type of zoning in their neighborhood. Let's mix it up a little bit. Make it so that way you can have houses on the outer grid, businesses in the center, one street going up the middle, and the street is built to be pedestrian friendly. So those were the two main issues that seemed to be going around in this. It was traffic and it was crime. It's easy to plan a neighborhood to mitigate those two issues in the neighborhood. Now, mitigate, not get rid of entirely. Let's face it, Timberbrook has had some issues in the past. This neighborhood will have issues in the future. So yeah, and I saw one other thing too. Someone asked for traffic calming measures along Route 19. Good luck. There's no possible way that's going to happen. In fact, it wouldn't surprise me if PennDOT comes through and takes all the street parking out of Zillionople within the next 10 years. Because you got Newcastle, that's having a population increase. Fombell is probably going to have a population increase. Elwood City, probably have a population increase. Portersville, it's definitely going to have a population increase. And where do all those people go when they want to go to the city? They come to Zillionople to jump on the highway. So traffic's going to increase anyway. What I'm asking for in this new neighborhood is only going to mitigate the traffic coming out of that neighborhood. It's not going to help Zillionople's big problem, which is being a confluence of 3 major highways and an access point, a very convenient access point to the interstate. So how are we going to keep the small town feel? By building it like a small town. We can't build it like cul-de-sacs and neighborhoods. Those really don't have the small town feel. We build it like a small town. We make it people friendly, like a small town. And then we go from there and hope and pray for the best. So thank you all very much and have a fantastic night. Hopefully I'll be able to bring in some more videos and hit each one of these points in more detail with better research. Have a good night.